Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here with another Pokemon Sword and Shield moveset video guide on how to use Polteageist. Now, I've been seeing a lot of comments saying, oh, how do I use Appleton? Oh, how do I use a Pokemon like Cinderace? Guys, check the moveset video playlist. It's down below. I did a bunch of those mons already. I'm covering every single new mon. Don't worry. And also, I saw a couple comments that were like, how do I team build? How do I get my Pokemon in Pokemon Sword and Shield? I made video guides on that too, guys. So check out them links. They're all down below. Let's talk a little bit about Polteageist, though. Polteageist is a pure ghost type, and its best stats are its special attack stat at an insane 134 base special attack, and then 114 base special defense. Below average speed, or about average, I guess, with this generation at base 70, and then really low HP at base 60 and base 65 defense. I think the strongest thing about Polteageist is the fact that it does have access to Shell Smash, Nasty Plot, and its ability Weak Armor. So I think if you want to use Polteageist, the best way you want to use it is probably with Shell Smash. Shell Smash boosts your attack, your speed, and your special attack by 2 stages or +2, and it lowers your special defense and defense by 1. So the first set we have is the Shell Smash set, which is either going to be running the Focus Sash or White Herb. Focus Sash is great, especially if you can get rid of hazards with teammates like Cinderace with Court Change, or just Rabbit Spinners in general, or Taunters. Extra is probably one of the best ones if you're using it in the higher tiers, because it's just a fantastic spinner at the moment. But the idea behind this is you Shell Smash, you have a Focus Sash, that way you survive every one hit, and now you're boosted, right? You're boosted, you have a Shadow Ball, which is Stab. Stored power effectively becomes 140 base power after a Shell Smash, so it's incredibly strong. And then your last move can either be Giga Drain or Hyper Beam. Now, you might be like, what the hell are you talking about Hyper Beam? I'll get into that in a second. But Giga Drain gives you a nice way of hitting Tyranitar, especially if you Dynamax and go for max overgrowth. It's also cool versus Gastrodon and Seismitoad, and just in general can hit dark types for neutral unless there's something like Hydreigon, right? But Hyper Beam is a nice little cool tech because Mandibuzz and Hydreigon actually wall Shadow Ball, Stored Power, and Giga Drain for the most part. So Hyper Beam can be a nice little way of dealing with both Hydreigon and Mandibuzz, especially if you Dynamax. And the cool thing with Weak Armor and Focus Sash is that this Pokemon isn't very fast. I mean, you can either run Timid or Modest. It's still outsped by like Scarf-based 110 Pokemon. So using the Weak Armor, if you get hit with a physical move, your speed is boosted even more. So unless your opponent has a Ditto, for the most part, they won't be able to outspeed you. And this thing, when it Dynamaxes, man, it's so strong. Of course, White Herb is an option as well over the Focus Sash, and I think that if you want to use Polteageist, you can either use it on teams that provide Psychic Terrain support, especially if you're using a Focus Sash. And the reason why Psychic Terrain is so important is because not only does it protect you from priority for moves like Sucker Punch, for example, from Bisharp, which is, I think, really important when you're running a Focus Sash, right? You might be down to 1 HP after you Shell Smash. But it also boosts the power of your stored power, which is already insanely strong to begin with. So it pairs really well. Pokemon like Indeedee can pair really well to get out the Psychic Terrain. And then you can even pair Hawlucha with this thing too, because they can all work together hand in hand. Hawlucha does not care about the dark types at all, whereas Polteageist can muscle through basically everything else. Toxapex doesn't matter, man. Boosted store power, gone. Especially if you Dynamax or just Pokemon like that, right? That Quagsire, for instance, something that Hawlucha does not want to deal with because of its unaware ability. You can Giga Drain it if need be. Now, the next set we have is another Shell Smashing set, but this one is actually pretty cool, and I've actually used it a little bit in the UU tier, though I've used both of them, right? I think the White Herb set is fantastic in general, same thing with Focus Sash, but this is using a few of the little techs that Polteageist does have. So it's another Shell Smash set. Timid Nature, max special attack, max speed, 4 special defense, Shell Smash, Shadow Ball, Will-O-Wisp, and Strength Sap. And I think you want a White Herb on this because you want your stats to go back to neutral. You don't want the drops, right, from Shell Smash. So White Herb helps you with that. And Curse Body. So this is pretty cool because a Dark type, for example, let's say a Dark type like Tyranitar is going for Crunch, or if it comes in on you after you Shell Smash, you go for Will-O-Wisp on it, you burn it, so you weaken its damage. Curse Body can activate, so you can get rid of that crunch, and you can go for Strength Sap as well and get recovery back. So it's really cool. You guys have seen Will-O-Wisp, Strength Sap, and Curse Body on Galarian Corsola, right? That's a Pokemon that just does that so well, being a physically defensive monster. And this is an offensive Polteageist with the ability to break through Pokemon that it normally wouldn't be able to because of Will-O-Wisp and Strength Sap. I guess technically you could use Hex over Shadow Ball, but that's assuming you land the Will-O-Wisp or even need to go for that. For the most part, Shadow Ball is just insanely strong either way. But again, some good teammates. I think Dual Screen Grimmsnarl is a nice teammate in general for Polteageist, whether you're using this set or the previous set. I love Psychic Terrain from Indeedee, like I already mentioned, the support. And you just want Pokemon that can deal with the dark types as well, so stacking up on your fighting types can really work. You have Pokemon like Hawlucha, which was previously mentioned, but also Conkeldurr can do it too. You can even use something like some sort of hyper-offensive team in UU that I've actually used very recently, like Copperajah to set up the Steel Stealth Rock or Steel Spikes, if you're using Gigantamax Copperajah, of course. And even Pokemon like Mew can set up spikes as well and can taunt. Como pairs really well too in terms of an offensive fighting type that can also Clangor's Soul to boost all of its stats. So again, this is a Pokemon that can definitely be incredibly scary, whether it be on their screens or just in general. And in terms of countering it, though, there are obviously options. If there's no Psychic Terrain, Sucker Punch from Bisharp, Grimmsnarl can wall it. Good dark types, right? If it's not running Hyper Beam, dark types like Mandibuzz, Hydreigon, Grimmsnarl can give it problems, right? Dynamaxing is a very good counterplay because it's strong. I mean, when you Dynamax, nothing's strong, right? I feel like if you're Dynamaxing and a defensive Pokemon comes out, I feel like nothing is strong at all. But those are all cool options. I like the combination of Hatterene plus Polteageist. I think they work really well together. Hatterene doesn't care about the dark types so much and can also provide a nice little backup sweeper, whereas Polteageist threatens them from the high speeds, I guess after Shell Smashing you could say. Hatterene obviously threatens them with Trick Room. But all in all, Polteageist is a really cool Pokemon. And just one other option, this is not going to be on the slide or anything, but if you're using this thing in the Ubers tier or where Baton Pass is allowed, Baton Pass is a pretty good option over any last move, right? I think in an offensive Polteageist, you always want to run Shell Smash, Shadow Ball, and then the last move, maybe, Stored Power. But Baton Pass is a pretty cool option to pass these stats to maybe a better recipient. For example, if you're playing in the Pokemon Sword and Shield Ubers tier over on Pokemon Showdown, Baton Pass to Zacian, and see what your opponent does after. They're going to lose. That's exactly what's going to happen. But all in all, really cool Pokemon. We'll be having a Showdown live up later today of me featuring Polteageist, and I'm excited to try it out. It does have, one more thing, it does have Nasty Plot in its arsenal, but I feel like the best thing to do with this thing, like it has Nasty Plot, it has Memento, I truly feel like the best thing to do with this thing is just to Shell Smash up and attempt to sweep. Maybe in like a draft league of sorts, you can make more use of something like Nasty Plot, Memento, Trick. But yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. And I'll see you guys later today with the Polteageist Showdown Live. Goodbye, my friends.